Hello guys, today we are going to discuss about FM paper 9 of ACCA skill level. We will be discussing what is the syllabus, what are the topics covered, what is the scope, what is the paper pattern and how simple or difficult is the paper. I am CA Chetan Kansara and I am a qualified chartered accountant and a BCom graduate. I am located in Mumbai, India. Now let us start with understanding what is FM. What is the financial management? What is this paper about? Now, as the name suggests, it is management of finance, management of money. And tell me, who will be managing the finance in a company? It will be the CFO of a company, finance manager of the company. In this subject, what we discuss is, what we are going to study is how to manage the money of the company and how the CFO or the finance manager take financing decisions. Our subject is mainly about financing decisions. There are three major financing decisions. Number one, how to raise money. The first financing decision is how to raise money. And we are going to cover many questions, many topics in this particular area. We have chapters called cost of capital. We have chapters called capital structure decision. We will discuss later. First financing decision is how to raise money. The second financing decision is how to invest or how to allocate that money. That will be covering in investment decision topic. And the third is how to use the profit money. All these main important financing decisions is the scope of our subject. Remember, the basic objective of the company, of the finance manager, is to maximize the shareholders' wealth. What? To maximize the shareholders' wealth. The basic objective of any company, the basic objective of the finance manager, the CFO, is to maximize the wealth of equity shareholders. And this entire subject is all about maximizing shareholders' wealth. Apart from these three main headings like investment decisions, financing decision and dividend decisions, we also have few topics on risk management, how to hedge the foreign exchange risk, how to hedge the interest rate risk, that is hedging. We'll be covering this in detail later. Let us proceed further with this. Now, the basic lesson, the FM teaches how company manages the money smartly. As I said, financing decisions we have to take. Okay, why? Because the finance person has to manage the funds of the company smartly. Let us proceed. Now, what is the basic objective of this FM paper? Basic objective of the FM paper, what we are going to study, as we have already discussed. Let us go further. We are going to evaluate the projects. We are going to evaluate the projects. For example, suppose we are getting a project. Shall we accept that project or not? Suppose company wants to purchase a machine, whether to purchase that machine or not. Suppose company wants to purchase the machine and there are two options, say A and B. So A or B, which machine to buy? Okay, so basic level questions are there in this particular level FM 9. I teach FM paper 9 at skill level and AFM paper at professional level. I have been teaching the financial management subjects from last 25 years. And mainly I have taught more of CA students. So now I'm exploring for ACCA subject also. Right? Now, let us proceed further. So, deciding the funding sources, how to raise the fund. For example, suppose a company wants to raise, say, 50 lakh rupees or 50 lakh dollars. Now, our objective is, company's objective is to raise the money in such a way that shareholders' wealth is maximized. Right? So, company will be having an option to raise the entire 50 lakhs by equity, to raise the entire 50 lakhs by debentures, by bonds, or maybe mixture of equity and debt and so on. This is what we are going to cover. And how to manage the financial risk, as we discussed earlier, forex risk, interest rate risk. So these are the basic objective of FM paper. Now let us concentrate more, discuss more on the chapters. The syllabus is like this. The first subject, the first topic, it is financial management function. This is a theoretical subject, theoretical topic. Now in FM, around your paper 9, you can expect around 55 to 60 marks practical questions and around say 40 marks theory. Approx 40 to 45 mark theory can come in the paper. This particular topic covers major theory topics. Okay, so financial management function, here we are going to cover role of financial manager, objective of the finance manager, stakeholders consideration, agency theory, all these topics we are going to cover over here. This is basically the foundation chapter, conceptual. It is very conceptual, right? So this topic, this particular chapter covers theory part of our paper. Then investment, most important topic for you. Here in this chapter we are going to cover various techniques like payback period, discounted payback period, NPV, IRR, etc. These are some techniques, these are some methods which helps you to take the decision whether to go for this project or not, whether to accept this project or not. Okay, and these techniques helps us to take decision. It also include how to incorporate the effect of inflation, how to understand the effect of taxation in the decision. So very important chapter, very important chapter. We will be discussing later in detail. Okay, and next, business finance, how to raise money. Company can raise equity, company can raise funds by issuing debt, by preference shares, and all these sources of finance are to be studied in detail in our syllabus. Okay, so here we are going to cover mainly calculation of cost of capital, because every fund which company gets has some cost. Every fund which the company takes from the public, maybe it is equity, maybe it is debentures or bonds, it has some cost. No fund will be free of cost. So our objective is to find out the cost of capital, so that we compare the return on capital with this cost of capital, and obviously return on capital should be more than the cost of capital. This is the main calculation, this is the main objective of calculating cost of capital. Important topic, very important topic, right? Then we have business valuation and risk management, as we discussed earlier. Risk management, what is business valuation? Business valuation includes valuation of shares, it includes valuation of business. For example, suppose I want to take over your business. Okay, now how much I should pay for your business, how much I should pay for your, how much should I value your business? For example, suppose you want to sell your business, you are saying give me $1 lakh, but is it really worth? I will try to find out. I will try to value your shares, I will try to value your business, your assets. So business valuation covers all those concepts. Risk management, foreign exchange risk, interest rate risk, what are the hedging techniques, we are going to discuss, right, in this particular topic. Then this is also one of the very important topic, working capital management. Working capital management includes allocation of funds in day-to-day activities of the business. How much money should be allocated to stock, inventory management, because you invest more money, money will be blocked, right? Then receivable management, how much credit we should give to the debtors, we should give more credit, less credit, because accordingly the funds are to be blocked with the customers. If you give more credit to the customers, more money will be blocked, right? Then payable management, how much credit we should ask when we buy. So payable management, receivable management, inventory management is what we are going to cover. Operating cycle, economic order quantity, all these things, many concepts which we'll be discussing in detail in the lectures, right? Exam pattern, the main part now. 3 hours paper, 100 marks paper, right? Now over here there are 3 sections, as you know, because skill level other papers you must have given. Section A, section B, 30 marks OTQ questions, right? First, section A, 15 marks MCQ of 2 marks each. In section B, you will be attempting 3 questions, and in each of the question there will be 5 objectives. So basically, section A will be little easy, but section B won't be that easy because it will be a case study type question, and that you will be asked 5 objective questions. But obviously, total 30 marks, sorry, not 30 marks, 60 marks. So 15 into 2 for section A, 15 into 2 for section B. These are objective questions. 40 marks paper, section C, is subjective. It is not objective. Here you are going to attempt 2 questions of 20 marks each. Okay, case study based question. And section C mainly comes from 3 chapters: investment appraisal, investment decision, business finance, okay, as we discussed earlier, and working capital management mostly. But it is possible that you may have some concepts of other chapters also in these questions, but mainly focus on these 3 topics. 20 marks question, 2 questions you have to attempt, right? So 40 marks over here, and 60 marks for section A and section B, 30 each. So this is the paper pattern. How to approach for the paper, how to write the paper, how to approach for the questions to be solved, obviously we'll be covering in the lectures, in the sessions. Right now, difficulty level and the practical importance. What is the difficulty level? See, over here it is not that difficult. AFM, that professional level paper, that is little tough, we can say, but this is, we can say, student friendly. Okay, the main topics which you will be struggling with is time management, completion of the paper, right? Long NPV questions, investment appraisal questions, they are very lengthy. That's a problem. So we need to practice a lot. We will be practicing in the lecture. In the sessions, we will be obviously discussing all the other points and details. And concepts, understanding the concepts. Without understanding the concept, you cannot appear for this FM paper. Very nice and intelligent, very good questions, very good concepts. You will be loving it. Okay, so mainly students struggle with this. Okay, now what about the career? Practical importance of this topic. It is directly used in investment banking, equity research, corporate finance and treasury management. Investment banking, banks, they raise funds for the company. They act as an mediator. So FM, the finance knowledge is required over here. Equity research, if you become a research analyst, you want to do fundamental analysis, technical analysis to buy a share, you need FM knowledge. Finance ka knowledge you need. Corporate finance, treasury management, all these practical used concepts. These are all practically used concepts. You need the knowledge of finance over there. Okay, and lastly we are going to discuss about the career roles. You can go for, as a financial analyst, you can work corporate finance executive, CFO. You'll be working as a CFO. Investment analyst, suppose for example you get money from the client and you manage their portfolio. Okay, you can become an investment analyst also. You can do research on equity. And risk manager, how to hedge the forex risk. So these are some roles of an FM person in the company. So if you are completing this paper, you get the broad knowledge about all this. What are the scope of, what will be the career opportunities? These are the career opportunities. What about the weightage? See, these are the weightage. Roughly we can just go through. The main important chapter over here is investment appraisal. Around 25 to 30 marks minimum we get from this particular topic itself, from this one topic. Okay, cost of capital, working capital, the others. See, 4 topics are very important, these 4. Right? So this is about ACCA paper 9. Of course, we'll be discussing how to study, what are the mistakes student makes. We will be doing all this in the sessions. I'll make some other video also to cover all this. I hope you liked the video. Please share it and see you in the lectures.